All right, good morning everyone. It's Amy Yamada here, and I am super excited today because this is my first official weekly chat with Amy. And it's something that I've been thinking about for a while, and actually for years. When I think back to even early on when I launched my business years ago, I remember my dear friend and colleague Devaney Freeman saying, Amy, you've got to get on video. And I'm sure that was even before Facebook Live video was happening, but like YouTube and all sorts of videos. And I kept saying, yeah, you're right, I should do that, I love getting in front of people to help them any way I can. And I just kept pushing it off and pushing it off and pushing it off. And while I do have some videos on YouTube, they're sporadic from different things I've done over the years. And now is the time, And I was thinking about today, and I was thinking about how it's not that I haven't posted Facebook Live videos. I have, but they've always been, again, kind of sporadic and when I really wanted to think about how I could announce something new or share something exciting. And I know that having a consistent chat with Amy will be an opportunity for me to help you in your business. So when I think about the entrepreneurs that I've been working with over the years, or even the audiences that I've been able to help, it's really about helping those of you who have already launched your businesses, right? And you've had it maybe for a few years, and you're at a place where it's inching along, it's going okay, and you're really ready for that next breakthrough. So for a lot of you, that means that you're already at the six-figure mark, or you're getting close to it, or maybe you've surpassed it a little bit, and there's still something that feels like you've hit a glass ceiling and you're so ready to break through that. So just a little background on me, for those of you who don't know me as well. I'm living in the greater Seattle area. I've been here for a number of years, actually, since college, but I was born and raised over in Japan. And I won't tell you my whole life story, but I worked in the local media here in Seattle for about 15 or so years. And then I decided to go off on my own. And it was one of those things where I knew that I had a deeper calling within me, and I knew that I wanted to work for myself and create a level of freedom. I also knew that it was a scary jump for me, and I knew that it was something that if I didn't do it, then I would always look back in my life and say, why did I not just take that chance? So I did that back in late 2011, although at that time I was juggling multiple things. And at some point I said, okay, if I really want to go the distance with something, I get to pick one area and really, really go the distance, really commit to it. And it is funny, I think back to it now, and even today, launching this Chat with Amy weekly Facebook Live video, it's the same thing, right? It's about commitment. It's like, okay, am I going to do this? Am I going to jump on Facebook Live video at a committed time once a week? And just take that leap of faith and know that I will be able to help more people and make a difference for you and share strategies and tips so that you can go out there and make the impact that you want to make in this world. So all that being said, one thing that I'll be asking of you throughout this chat with Amy as I move forward and we start growing our audience and really connecting with more and more entrepreneurs is for you to share with me what your questions are. Because I'd love to hear them. I would love to make sure that I'm not just saying things that I think that you need, but really the areas that you're struggling. So I see Devaney on here. Yay, hi Devaney. I've got you on here, and I'm excited to have this audience grow, and of course people who will be listening to the replay, that's great as well. So thank you for being here, and I'd love to see your hearts, your love, super exciting. And so one of the things that I constantly get as a frequently asked question is, how do you attract clients so easily? And it's something that, I definitely use strategies to expand my audience and to reach out to people. And even before I started doing things like list building and Facebook advertising, I definitely did the old school method of just getting out there and networking. And I think it's something that a bit of a lost art. So I always encourage people, and if it's something you haven't done in a while, to just go right in your backyard, look and see what events are coming up around you that really speak to you, that you think your ideal clients are going to be at. Even if you have an online business, it doesn't hurt to put yourself back out there again in the real world, because while all of this is great, right? Getting to connect virtually, there's still nothing as powerful as the in-person experience. And if you're at a certain place in your journey as an entrepreneur where you're ready to even take that to the next level, then it's great to look at speaking opportunities. I've done a little bit more of that in the last year or so, where I've actually gotten on bigger stages, even if it's in front of like 50, 75, or 100 people. it's a really powerful way to share what it is that you're doing, share what it is that you know you can help people overcome. And when you're at those events, of course, you can repurpose everything that you're doing there. So for example, obviously posting on social media what it is you're doing at the event, you know, showing a little behind the scenes. Right now, what's coming to mind is the Ultimate Stage Experience, which was this past November in La Jolla, California. And one of the most fun things that I did was actually a Facebook Live video behind the scenes before getting on the stage. So I'm getting hair and makeup done. I'm telling people about what's coming up for me, and also why I was doing it. And it just gave people a little insight to the fact that even though I'm someone who's been public speaking since I was probably in 5th grade, I still get nervous. Like, I still get that, like, oh my gosh, I'm doing this, super exciting, but a little bit nervous. And even today, okay, I love being transparent, right? So if I just jump onto Facebook Live video, like spontaneously, no problem, because I feel like, okay, there's no expectation. I can just jump on here and give you some tips on something or share what I'm up to. And there's something different about committing to a weekly Facebook Live video for Chat with Amy, right? So even today I was like, what is this? I'm feeling a little bit nervous, And so I was just kind of like getting ready. I was thinking about how, you know what, if there's one thing I've learned, especially in the last year or so, is that it's all about letting go of perfection. So for all my perfectionists out there, if you're a perfectionist, let it go, right? Just let it go, because authenticity and vulnerability is what really connects. Okay, so to bring it back to how to attract clients easily, again, going out to networking events, doing the speaking engagements, and then for those of you who have already done things like email list building and expanding your audience on social media, this is like my sweet spot in terms of utilizing those platforms to build a deep connection with your ideal clients so you can make a bigger impact for them, and you can also earn the income that you've always wanted. So what do I mean by that? Well, especially in the last couple of years, what I've noticed is that there are a lot of people who have built an online list, right? Built an email list and even a social media following. And they're sending these emails out to their list. For one, they may not be consistent with the emails. So again, if this is speaking to you, just really lean into this, because this might have a golden nugget in it for you. So there may not be a consistency there, right? So one of the things that's really important, and feel free to take notes, it's kind of like a free training, right? If you're writing emails to your list, make sure that there's a consistency in emailing them. Even if you feel like nothing's happening, if you're consistently getting in front of them, even just seeing your name in their email inbox is big, right? So I think about even other brands out there that I'm on their email list, like Nordstrom, right? For all my ladies out there, if you love Nordstrom like me, you may be on their list. And it's not that I open that email every single day, but I think I get them actually daily, and I'm not bothered by it, because when I think of Nordstrom, I am happy, right? I imagine myself, I think about those license plate frames that say, I'd rather be shopping at Nordstrom, right? Like, it's always a positive experience. Their customer service is top notch. Their products are great. And so I get these emails on a daily basis, and I don't open them all the time, but I'm not going to unsubscribe because I love the brand, right? Just as people love you. And sure, there will be unsubscribes here and there. And at the same time, if you consistently are reaching out to them, then at some point they will see a subject line, and they'll be at a point where the subject line really speaks to them. So they open it up, and then they see what you have to say, and they may even click on a link to either check out your blog or a video, or even schedule a time to chat with you, right? And that will give you an opportunity to speak with an ideal client. So consistency is definitely a key component that sometimes when I'm talking to my entrepreneurial clients, they're like, oh, Amy, my email list is dead, or I think that they're not the right audience. I'm like, no, they're not dead. How often have you been emailing them, number one? And then what is it that you are saying in the subject line and then in the actual email itself? So I'm not going to go into a full training right here, right now, but just to give you some tips on really thinking about how you are serving your audience. For those of you who have an email list, just think back to, have I been consistent? Have I emailed my list at least 2 times a week? Sometimes more, sometimes less, but really 2 times a week is a pretty sweet spot. I'm usually somewhere between 2 and 3 times a week. And is what I'm sending them something of great value? because inboxes are getting filled up every single day with so many emails for most people. And so if your subject line isn't exciting to them, and if the content within the email doesn't create a sense of urgency and a deep connection, then they're not going to do anything about it, right? So these are some of the things I will be speaking into, and I want to make sure that I'm answering your questions. So I know that this is my first Facebook Live video. I've only got a couple people on it, and I only started promoting it, so I'm confident that I'll be growing this. But yes, I do want to say hi to Susan. And so if you do have any questions, I would love for you to post them right in the comments below right now. I'd be happy to answer them. You can think about, what's the number one thing that I'm struggling within my business right now? Like, so number one thing that's giving me pain in my business. If it's, your marketing messaging, is it I need more clients? Hi, Zeta. Is it that I really have a hard time articulating what it is I'm even offering to new potential clients? Is it pricing and packaging? So if you're listening right now, if you're watching right now, I would love to invite you, especially my first ever chat with Amy. Okay, you would really help me out. If you are thinking about like where you are in your business today, okay, just think, okay, where am I in my business today? And what is my number one pain point or challenge? I would love to see you post a question right now. Even if you're like, oh, I don't know if this question is good, I would love to hear what your questions are. Okay, Zeta, I need to boost my page. So what page is this? Is this an opt-in page? Is this your Facebook page? What page are you talking about? So yeah, this is a good one, boosting your page. Yeah, I get that. I mean, any web pages are good to boost, right? So if you could just post, okay, Susan, doing things that just don't work. Okay, yeah, and I know, Susan, you and I had the opportunity to chat recently one-on-one, which was great. When it comes to things that just don't work, I do understand that feeling. Oftentimes, the first time or even the second time I do something, a strategy, it quote-unquote doesn't work, right? Like I don't get the results that I want. So one of the things I've done is I look at ways to leverage the thing that I've done. So for example, I know that I've done, every year I do an online summit or speaker series. And there's times when I've had higher numbers, there's times that I've had lower numbers. And I always look at it as a success because I've accomplished actually doing this big project, right? So what I do is I make sure that if I'm, so whether it's an online experience or an in-person experience, I leverage it. So for example, if I'm at the Ultimate Stage Experience and I'm going to be speaking on the stage, yes, I'm really focused on being present there and delivering a great presentation on the stage to that audience, not knowing what the results are going to be, right? And I'm going to leverage it, meaning I will have photos taken at the event. I will have my phone with me at all times to do Facebook Live videos. I will tell people about it. And why do I do that? So basically sharing with people that I'm out there doing things, right? I'm out there doing things that are in line with my mission, my vision. And when people can see and feel that energy about me, that I'm really committed to my vision, then whether or not the strategy was a complete flop, or if it didn't do as well as I thought it was going to do, it's really okay because I will leverage it, and then people pay attention to that. Like people pay attention to what it is I'm doing because I share it in a way that is very vulnerable, it's very humbling, it shows gratitude. So Susan, I'm not sure if this is helpful, but we can certainly jump on another call because I'm so committed to helping you. But really thinking about what has worked for me in the past and what is not working for me right now. And I always bring it back to the power of deep connection, like deeply connecting with people and finding out what it is they need and seeing how I can help, and then leveraging the strategies if they're not really working. Okay, let me see here. Zeta, I finally arrived to a clear vision of helping single women. I'm a fitness coach, but want to grow traffic on my business Facebook page. I like that. Oh, they're doing things committed to vision. Susan, you're so kind. Oh, you're so sweet. Okay, so for Zeta, so awesome that you're a fitness coach. I love my fitness people. So awesome. And want to grow traffic on my business Facebook page. So I'm right there with you, because I have a much bigger following on my personal page. And at the same time, I'm committed to growing my business page. So I would love to just even challenge you and invite you to do something like this. Like, what would it be like for you, if you haven't already, to commit to doing a weekly Facebook Live video once a week at the same time, the same day each week at the same time, and have a fun name for it, something simple. Like I thought of all these different fancy names and I was like, you know what, I'm just gonna call it Chat with Amy. Keep it simple. And just think about the frequently asked questions that you get from your ideal clients, right? And then answer them, because if you build that consistency, so even if at the beginning there's only a few people, like right now, like I'll be transparent, there's 2 people watching, right? I know that as I start doing this on a weekly basis, over time it will increase. And with the other things that I'm doing, to go back to what I was saying for Susan, you know, I've got another online speaker series coming up this summer, and I've got a new Facebook ad campaign that's launching. So everything I'm doing is going to expand and grow, which will only draw more attention to both being on my email list as well as following my Facebook Live videos every week and being on them to ask questions. So Zeta, just really think about how you can be highly generous for your audience. That's another thing, like everyone should write this down. Generosity wins, and generosity breeds generosity, right? So the more generous I am with my audience, the more they follow me and the more they reach out to me, so that when I do something new like this over time, I know it's going to build up. Like I so trust that. And even with this, I can repurpose my Facebook Live video. So for example, again, I'm just going to be so transparent with you. From this video, I can download it and then upload it to my new website, which is going to be launching in the next few months, and have it as my video blog. So I'm going to repurpose these videos because I'm going to give a lot of content and strategy and tips, and I'm going to create this to be my video blog. I can also put this on my YouTube channel, so then I have a YouTube page that keeps growing as well. So do you see how by just doing one thing once a week for even 20 to 25 minutes, that you can also repurpose it? And then you're just going to drive more traffic. I've also noticed that Facebook Live videos tend to get more exposure than regular posts. At least that's been my experience. So Zeta, definitely do that. Like really think about, okay, what could I do on a weekly basis as a Facebook Live video? What are the frequently asked questions? And then inviting people to come to it. So whether or not you have a big following, you can even ask friends and family and connections to say, hey, could you support me? Like if I had done a better job of this, I would have actually reached out to my friends and colleagues and said, hey, I'm starting my Facebook Live video, Chat with Amy tomorrow, you know, today. Could you come and support me? I was moving really quickly, so that's just my story. But I'm confident that I'll continue growing it. So Zeta, what do you think about that? I would love to see you post a Facebook Live video and do it on a weekly basis and see what happens, you know? Other ways to grow traffic. I mean, of course, if you have an email list, then in your PS of your email list, you can say, you know, join the conversation, click here, and also then promote your Facebook Live videos. So if you're going to do a Facebook Live video, it's best if you let people know if you're going to do it on a frequent basis. And then finally, you know, of course, there's other things that you can do to make sure that everything you're doing is not just a call to action for, like, to make sales, but doing quotes and memes. Instagram is also huge, right? So I'm taking a look right now behind the scenes with my team about how we can take our brand on Instagram to the next level, and also having consistency between Instagram and Facebook, and maybe even cross-promoting one another. So I hope you find that helpful. So yeah, so if this is helpful so far, I'd love to see some hearts, see some love, see if this is landing for you. And if you're just joining us, I would love to see what is the one area, the number one area that you could use most help with in your business, because part of this Chat with Amy weekly show is going to be about me answering your questions and helping you any way that I can. Today's theme is really just about launching this Chat with Amy and also answering your questions and talking about client attraction. Oh, thank you for the hearts. That's so fun. So bringing it back to client attraction. So of course I've talked about the old school method of networking and getting yourself back out there. I'm telling you, I've expanded so much more online. So I myself don't do as much in-person networking as I once did. Like when I worked on the local media here in the greater Seattle area, I went to everything. And it was a great way for me to meet new prospective clients, even as an account executive for a local lifestyle magazine, right? So I would be out and about with my business cards and the, samples of the magazine, and I was handing out stuff like crazy and just meeting people, making friends everywhere I went. And I would make sure that following up after the event, I would send emails to those people, make phone calls, and whether or not they were my ideal client, I was building my network, right? I was building up my connections and letting people know who I am and what I do and what I'm here for to solve a problem. it's no different now being a business owner, being an entrepreneur, right? So it's just, I've shifted to most of it online. However, I'll share a quick story with you. About, I want to say like a year and a half ago, I was invited to be a featured coach at this awesome event in Seattle that was a speed coaching event. It was actually really brilliant. Tracy Klinkroth hosted this event here in Seattle, and she was talking about how there's all these singles events that are like the speed dating events, and she thought, wouldn't it be cool if I did a speed coaching event where I featured like 30 coaches of different types, whether it's fitness, and it was really targeting women, right? It was a women's event. It was fitness, it was business, it was relationships, it was living your best life, it was lifestyle, it was all that. And so she had us all set up at these little tables, just like a speed dating event. And then she promoted it ahead of time. And there was a lot of behind the scenes with this. I definitely give her props for that. And then she had people sign up in 15-minute increments with each of the coaches. And it was like a 4-hour event with a break in the middle to do some announcements and prizes and all that. But I'll tell you what, I was like, this sounds like an event that would be right up my alley. And my schedule for that evening was filled. It was like back to back, and it was so fun to actually meet the people who've been following me online, excited to chat with me, and I was excited to help them any way I could. And I brought on year-long clients in my Coaching Masters Academy from that one event. So 4 hours, let's see, I think I got 4 hours. I don't even remember how many people I spoke with, but not every single person was my ideal client. But 3 of them stepped into my year-long program, and that was at the time probably to the tune of, over $20,000 for one event, So it's just about just opening yourself up to possibility and just trusting the process of your journey and knowing that you can put yourself out there and attract clients like that, And then when it comes to the online segment, of course, this is where you can really become scalable and reach so many more people. So things like this Facebook Live video, I believe are a good idea. My business coach has been doing them. I know that some of my colleagues have started doing Facebook Live videos. And again, it's not just about, oh, look at me and it's ego. It's like, how can I be of bigger service to you? How can I help more people? How can I be listening intently to find out what it is people are needing and really being able to help them? So that being said, bringing it back to the power of really deeply connecting with your audience. So again, those of you who have already been building your email list and have putting yourself out there in social media and already bringing on clients, if you're finding yourself stuck, then it's good to take a step back, look at the big picture of how you're putting yourself out there. What is your marketing messaging? What is unique about you, right? If you're sounding like every other coach or service-based entrepreneur out there, then it's time to take a look within and say, what's unique about what I offer? What's my strong point of view? And it may take a little time to get there. My messaging myself has really evolved over the years. And at first it was way too broad, and over time it's become more and more niched, right? You've probably heard that quote of niche is rich and broad is broke. I know some people say niche. If you want to say niche, that's fine, but then it ruins the rhyme. Anyway, excuse me. So just thinking about who is your most ideal client and how can you be most useful for them. So for me, I really have noticed while I can help newbies out for sure, my sweet spot of helping people and being the most useful are for those entrepreneurs who've already launched their businesses, they're within their businesses for maybe 1, 2, or 3 years, maybe more, and they're just at a plateau place where like, gosh, I really want to break through to that next level. And then it's about really finding ways to deeply and authentically connect with your ideal clients. And I also specialize in teaching copywriting that connects and converts, and even how to make an offer that makes a difference. So my clients and colleagues will tell you that I'm all about generosity and making a difference. So instead of being so attached to the result, I'm committed out of my mind to help entrepreneurs to make a bigger impact in the world and for their ideal clients and to earn the income that they've always wanted. So yeah, so if you're just joining us or if you joined halfway through, I would love to hear from you. I'd love some hearts and some love if you're excited about your business. And if you have a question, just think about like what's the number one area that you're struggling with. So I've been answering a couple of questions here. Would love to see what is that number one area that you're struggling with. I'm here to answer your questions and to help you any way I can. And even if it's something that's just today, like let's bring it to the present moment. Like what is on your mind today that I can help you with? And I would love for you to post them below. So I'm gonna check and see what time it is. I'll probably be wrapping up here pretty soon, but if you do have a question, oh yay, thank you for the hearts. You guys are so great. Susan, thank you. Super sweet. You can say you were here on my first Facebook Chat with Amy weekly show. But yeah, love to see any other questions. I'm just gonna look here. Yeah, so on that note, I'll go ahead and I'm seeing, sorry, I was missing some of these. Okay, Ashley, yes, I love watching Susan Brennan every Wednesday and now you on Thursdays. I was thinking about yesterday how I want to start weekly one too. Okay, so some of these I just wasn't seeing. Okay, Ashley, great. For those of us in transition, running one business and starting a new one, and we want to start things like a weekly Facebook Live and Instagram, is it best to focus on the new business development and I can't see the rest of it. Okay, so what I would do, Ashley, is definitely make sure that you're focusing on one Facebook page, like your public profile page, for example, and really think about because I know that you're going from like offering organizing services to doing coaching, right? So what you want to do is just be transparent about what it is you're offering now and what, kind of who are you speaking to, right? Because you're really focusing more and more on the coaching. So I would have one public profile page or business page. So if you have multiple ones, then let's focus on one. Start a Facebook Live video on that one, and you can totally be talking about your inner and outer space. Like for those of you watching, I actually know Ashley personally, so I know what she's up to these days. It's really amazing because what she's noticed in organizing for people is that what's happening around you is a reflection of what's happening internally. So by nature, she's been coaching people, right? So she's been shifting and now offering life coaching services so that people can release that which no longer serves them, not only in the physical sense, but internally. I think it's so powerful. So you could have an online Facebook Live video show that speaks into that. And even if you at some point go full-time coaching, you can still use the analogies and even speak into, I still would love to invite you to speak into the things that are reflecting what's not working for people. Right? So you can still use what you used to do if at some point you no longer do the hands-on organizing, and just as you're life coaching people on your Facebook Live video show and as your service, you can say, you know what, why don't you take a picture of your bedroom right now or your home office right now and send it to me? Because it's almost like you can be like that intuitive person that when you see the physical space and tell them, don't clean it up, take a photo of it exactly as it is and send it to me, or do a video and send it to me. And I would be willing to bet that those people that are struggling in their businesses have a totally messy office, right? Or if there's something about intimacy, their bedroom probably has laundry everywhere, stuff like that. So definitely have one place that you're driving traffic to, and then find the golden thread between what you've been doing and where you're heading. I can help you with this, by the way, so let me know. And that way you can have a message that's super powerful, right? So you can do it, absolutely. Susan, getting mixed messages from different coaches. Okay, this is a really good one. So if you are someone who has worked with multiple coaches, like business coaches, for example, or in any area, there are going to be different messages because, I'll just speak from the business coaching point of view, right? Every business coach is going to have their own unique point of view, because they feel strongly, I feel strongly about what has worked for me and what has not worked for me. It doesn't mean that any business coach is right or wrong. They just feel passionately about how they've been able to be successful, right? So for example, I know some of you follow my business mentor, and some of you have even worked with her, Shanda Sumter. I just love her dearly. And she is really big on list building, right? Email list building, and then knowing how to sell to that list. Super powerful. And I believe in it in that I am her client. I have learned how to do list building primarily through her, as well as doing some Facebook ad campaigns and online marketing funnels through Devaney Freeman's team. So it takes a team and a village, right? And my strong point of view, which even Shanda helped me with, because I was like, should I be teaching list building? I feel like everyone's all about list building. And she's like, no. She goes, think about your own authentic and unique point of view. And she asked me a really great question. She said, if somebody wiped away your entire business today and you had to start from scratch tomorrow, what would you do? I'm like, well, I might cry a little bit, but no, I'm just kidding. But what I would do is I would create my signature offerings. I would deeply connect with people both online and in person, and I would make offers. And none of that was their list building, because that's not my point of view in how to get started. Do I believe in list building? Absolutely. And from my point of view and my own experience and what I've taught my entrepreneurs to do is that even without a list, I was able to have my first ever, years ago, my first ever $15,000 cash in-house month. Without a list, I had no email list. I was networking, I was connecting with people, I had a great package to offer, and I started meeting with people at my local coffee shop and getting to know people through a really authentic, heart-centered enrollment conversation. And I said, here's what I recommend for you. And it just didn't have to be so complicated, right? So fast forward to now, yes, I have my online marketing funnels. I do a speaker series or a summit every single year. I do Facebook ad campaigns. So yes, at this point in my journey, I do the fancy online marketing to expand my message, but I didn't need that to start there. And the great thing is these other business coaches that I'm close with celebrate my point of view. They're like, that's great. So you get to teach people how to deeply connect with their audience, right? And I mean, now that I am at this point, of course, I do encourage people to build lists. And now I'm all about the deep connection piece on an amplified level, right? Because I noticed that that's a really streamlined way of doing it. Susan, you're great with helping hone in on signature offerings. After this and our call, I have it. Oh, good. Yay. Happy to hear that. All right, well, my lovelies, at this point, I'm going to wrap this one up, and I hope you've enjoyed this. I've so loved doing this, and thank you for being here. It's so much more fun to have engagement, be able to answer your specific questions. So I'm inviting you to join me every Thursday at 10 a.m. Pacific. So if this is helpful and you want my inspiration and you want to build more of a connection with me as I do with you, I invite you to join me. So go ahead and put it in your calendar every week, and put the link to this Facebook page, facebook.com/Amy Yamada Online. And I would love for you to share this with others. I'm definitely gonna post this so people can watch the replay of it and share. Yes, you're welcome. Show me some hearts and some love if this has been helpful for you. And I cannot wait to expand this and help more and more purpose-driven, heart-centered entrepreneurs. Sending so much love to you wherever you are in the world. And I will see you next week. Mwah. Talk to you then.